characters in Genesis have deep spiritual mysteries. Who is hateful to God's covenant? What about that person? The greater the blessing will be in God's covenant. First of all, this covenant was given to Abraham by God. He made a covenant with Abraham. Let Abraham's descendants multiply like the stars in the sky, the sand by the sea, that he might acquire the land of Canaan, become a great power. What about Abraham in the back? He had 8 sons before and after. The first son was called Ishmael. What about the second son? His name is Isaac. Then what about Abraham? Married another wife. He had 6 other sons. In total, they have 8 sons. So who was in this covenant that God made with Abraham? To whom does this covenant fall? It fell on Isaac. Therefore, the blessing of God. What about the promised blessing? It was directly given to Isaac from Abraham, directly to Isaac. Then Isaac had 2 sons, one with Jacob and Esau. So who cares more about God's covenant? Then who will become the great nation blessed by God? I found out later. What about Esau and Jacob? Apparently, Jacob prevailed. Jacob was more concerned about the covenant with God. Therefore, what about this covenant? Yes, it will eventually fall on Jacob and Israel. Then from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what about this covenant? It's always been the same. Then among the many sons of Jacob, Jacob had 12 sons. We know how to know. Got a big assignment. Judas and this Joseph. So are these 2 sons more concerned about God and Father? Oh, concerned about God and their Father. Hey, care more, care more. The covenant with God. Then that person will become the eldest nephew. Then we, Brother Saiba, say, Zach, 2 wives and 2 concubines. Then what about these 4 people? I care about God very much. In God's will, they will have their corresponding qualifications. Then what does Brother Saiba say? So we care about this. Very admirable in this covenant. Ultimately, I will be in this covenant. Be a big boy. The great branch has become a great tribe, received many children, but I didn't really care, just like my aunt. I don't care. What about in the end? He has no parts in this contract. Then we, our sons and daughters, also understand. The Father and the Lord made a covenant with them, is to make a covenant. It is God's covenant with spiritual Israel, and the Lord made a covenant with them, the spiritual Israel. What about the covenant? I care about this contract very much. They also maintain this covenant very much. In the end, what about yourself? It becomes a big assignment without realizing it. Or become a respected brother or sister. These are all good intentions of the Father. So very concerned and care. That's a big deal. For example, in Genesis, there is a son named Joseph. He cares very much. I didn't expect it. He actually got 2 assignments. Of course, Yoda, for example, he also cares. What about him? He was also very concerned about his younger brother, Bian. I am willing to live according to God's will. They have compassion. God bless him. Let's think about it. Who does the Father bless? Very concerned about the person he is dating. I just care about God's covenant. Then God is pleased. So don't care, sweep it. He said at the time, hey, I'm starving. What use is this birthright to me? He doesn't care about the covenant between God. Then God doesn't care about him either. Then we understand, but also firmly rooted in Israel, knowing that this covenant is true, is real. Then leave your job and be brave. Doing that job, come to work together. Without realizing it, he became a respected brother and sister for several days. Glory to the Father and the Lord. Amen.